Deb here, your spiritual cheerleader and mentor. Welcome to Greatest Jesus in Me YouTube channel. And you know what to do. Subscribe now. And friends, today we have a special guest, Syreeta. Hey, Syreeta.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How you doing, girl?
I'm doing good. Blessed as always.
Well, it's been a while and it's time to do some catching up.
Yes, yes.
I know you have been traveling.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
have become a traveler.
yeah, yeah. To say the least.
I thought it would be interesting for you to share with our friends some of your travel adventures.
Okay.
And also, I wanted to talk to you about the fact that you're single
Mm-hmm.
and you are traveling by yourself.
Yes, yes.
And to me, that is very courageous because a lot of single people do a lot of things by themselves. I know when I was single, I would go out and eat by myself and do a lot of things by myself. I didn't have a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I've traveled by myself too as a single person, but I always went to see family or friends. But this is you going out as a tourist.
Yes.
What made you decide to start doing this?
It I didn't feel like after COVID, I
Mhm.
felt like I was confined. I hadn't been anywhere. Except for work. And I just really came out of that whole situation, the lockdown, feeling as though I really want to take advantage of seeing the world. Yeah,
Well, that's
that's
that's a
it.
that's a good reason. And you decided to do it alone, even though sometimes it's hard to find friends and family that want to travel. Number one, you have to sync times,
Yeah.
and sometimes and it costs also. So not everybody can be on board with you when you want to do certain things. So you just kind of say, well, I'm just going to do it solo.
Yeah. Because when I was traveling for work, everything was very scheduled, very regimented. And even when we were overseas and we had free time, everything was on a schedule. And I didn't like that. I didn't like
Mm.
being kind of on somebody else's time. So when I started getting ready to travel on my own, I basically told myself, okay, I'm going to ask people where they want to go.
Mm-hmm.
The individuals that were around in my life at that time really didn't want to travel. A very small percentage of Americans actually travel overseas. And then when it came to finances, Miss Debbie, I really took advantage. Of a lot of the deals and promotions that a lot of the airlines are having, especially in the beginning of
Mm-hmm.
things opening back up. I mean, they were giving international flights away for like $200 round trip. So I
Mm.
literally, yeah, so I literally just took advantage of that.
I don't blame you. I
Yeah.
don't blame you.
And it just one thing led to another, as far as planning the hotel. I mean, I was in control of it. So, I mean, that really kind of set the stage for me being like, you know what, I can do this on my own.
Yeah, I commend you. Wonderful, wonderful. So share your experience with us. Your travel experience with us. Where have you been?
So I was in France for 3 weeks
Ooh.
last year, last fall, around this time actually. And so when I was there, I got to go to all the different regions like the Burgundy, Champagne, the I guess this the quote unquote south of France, Monte Carlo, which I loved, within Monaco, and then because of COVID, I wasn't able to explore, expand from there. I turned right back around and went to Spain. I spent time in Madrid, which I loved. And then most recently, I was telling you, I came back from Greece,
Mm-hmm.
the island Crete. which was unbelievable, really unbelievable. It was a little cool, but it was unbelievable. And I want to say my best experience thus far has been Spain, between the food, the culture, the buildings, the sites. I really felt more at home there out of the three.
Mm,
Hmm.
okay.
Hmm.
And what about the traveling itself? Did you encounter any issues or anything that made you uncomfortable?
Oh yeah, yeah. It is travel, right? So, it, so overseas it's kind of like you're by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would definitely say that I encountered issues in France because I was going the Airbnb route, which was fine, but I did learn through that you have to switch it up a little bit because I had an Airbnb central in Nice, and then I would kind of like go in and out, to the different regions, but stay there. And I think that was not something I would recommend people to do because, by yourself, people start seeing a pattern, just like here in the States.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I've been quote unquote stranded, um, with recently in Greece. I mean, they had a really big mudslide, and they actually end up delaying the flights by one day, then canceling all of them. And so nobody was coming in and out. It was chaos. There were water up to your knees. It was a scary time. And it's just, you're by yourself. So you're having
Right.
to navigate that, navigate the culture, the language, so there are times where it's scary, but, for whatever reason, God is always there. He makes
Mm-hmm.
things
Mm-hmm.
work.
Mm-hmm.
Because even when I was finally able to get a flight out, Miss Debbie, I left my backpack with my passport, my phone, my wallet. I left that in the taxi that I had. And he dropped me off the airport and he was gone. But for some reason, I was I mean, you talk about one of those scenes where you drop down to your knees and you cry
Right.
because I
Ooh.
had nothing. I had no cell phone. I mean, I had nothing. And so right when I was like looking up to pray, I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? The taxi driver ran there with my backpack. And I was so happy. I started crying again. But it was a simple thing of always having my alarm set at 6 a.m. and I never turn it off because it went off in his cab and he noticed it and then he was able to bring it back to me. And
Oh.
and that's just
Ooh.
something I always forget to do, but in that instance, you know what I'm saying, it served its purpose
Yes.
because I didn't know what I was going to do. But yeah, I would definitely say with housing there's been some type of issues got to be aware of. And then coming back into the States, I will honestly say I've never been able to come back home when I want to. So yeah,
Oh.
there's been
So
some
you
hurdles.
have to have that flexibility
You
where
do,
you
yeah,
don't you don't think that you're gonna get home a certain
yeah,
day as planned and make provisions,
yeah,
especially if you're working.
yeah,
That could be maybe an
yes.
issue. You have to let your employer know that there's a possibility that you might not return to work when you're supposed to.
Yeah, and I mean and with anything, communication. So you
Mm-hmm.
communicate with your job, you communicate with your family because sometimes you do go off the grid, right? Not because anything has happened to you, but the cellular service is not working. So
Right.
just always touching base back home. And when
Yes,
you
that's
get
very
stranded,
important.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually now when I go out, I allocate about 3 additional days for me to, on top of what my original plan is, to be able to actually get back home. Because that's about how long, at the longest that it'll take actually to re-coordinate everything with the airlines to get everything, lined up as far as check out the hotels and be able to, yeah, I allocate about 3 extra days.
Mm-hmm. And safety is very important,
Hmm.
especially when you're traveling by yourself
Yes, yes.
and being a woman also. So are
Hmm.
there any specific safety precautions you took or?
Yes, I stopped staying at Airbnbs,
Okay.
and was actually the last two trips I did just a regular hotel. That way, somebody's there, see you come in and
That
see you
makes
go.
sense.
You know, and then also, I even though I don't like them, I got a fanny pack to be able to keep, in front of you something close to your body because I have my big bag and everything, my little tote. No, don't do that, because they're still pickpockets. So having the fanny pack and then just being alert and aware of your surroundings. I
Right.
mean, that's big because a lot of these places you're going. I normally travel off season to avoid the crowds,
Mm-hmm.
but you still have some crowds,
Mm-hmm.
and people come at you from different angles, and you just have to really be aware. And the last thing, that people don't think about, I don't stay out past a certain time when I'm overseas. Normally, when it's getting kind of dark, dusk, I go back to the hotel. I find something to do there or across the street, but I'm just not out there, when it's dark or really late at night.
Mm, good. Very good tips. Very
Yeah.
good tips to folks that are uh, may consider traveling by themselves and yeah, not sit around and wait to see if other people can go with you because sometimes then you'll never go anywhere.
Yeah.
So if you want to get out there, just be safe, take
Hmm.
all the precautions and go out there and have fun. And I'll say that I'm not a traveler. You know that. So I travel through other people like you. And and I travel through my refrigerator magnets.
Yes.
My
Which I have it
refrigerator,
stacked for you. I have it stacked.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I have it all. My refrigerator is packed with all the magnets, and people who come to the house and think, "Oh, you've been there?" Nope, I haven't been not one place. But I love my magnets. That's as far as the traveling I'll
Yeah.
do. So I'm
Oh my
glad
God.
everybody's not like me. But because traveling is fun, you go out there and you meet different people, see different cultures, and see
Yeah.
the sightseeing is beautiful because you sent me some pictures and it was just like awe.
It's amazing because, I mean, I was a history major in college,
Mm,
and so, most of these, all of them, the countries, and the culture and the civilizations were around way like centuries before America came on the map. So, there's more architecture, there's more
right.
structures to see that predate America. So to me, that's always been cool. And there's certain meanings behind them, and so I take advantage of seeing those things. And honestly, if especially single women, take advantage. Maybe not go all the way over to like Europe or across the Atlantic, but try maybe Mexico or an island. Just try going by yourself and just taking in the culture and the beauty, and not being bound by like a schedule. Just wake up and like, God, what are we going to do today? Is there, is there a tour? Do you want me to go on tour? Do you want me just to stay and lay around and sit by the pool? Like, what should I do today? And there's something liberating about that. There's something freeing, especially when you're coming from, a work environment, Miss Debbie, where, everything's go, 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 go. You have to get up a certain time. One time I laid in bed until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I ordered some room service for breakfast and I was just in bed. I mean, but nobody could say anything about it because that's what I wanted to do.
Yes. But
So,
I've always told you that. I said, be you and enjoy yourself. Enjoy being with yourself. Do whatever you want. Just go out there and have fun.
yes, yes. And you'd be
And you are
surprised.
doing it.
I am loving it.
This is very good message for single women and single men too.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
get out there and enjoy life.
You have to.
Don't
Yeah,
sit around waiting to meet somebody to start doing stuff because time is moving on.
it is.
What you
Quickly.
want to do is just find things that you enjoy.
Yeah,
Uh, and it starts with loving yourself, being
yeah,
comfortable being with yourself, and
yeah,
enjoying being with yourself.
yeah.
And you'll see that you are a lot of fun.
Yeah. You really will, you know, and the people that you meet overseas, you know, you meet business connections, you know, you're not even looking about that. You meet people who would normally be you wouldn't even be in a circle with normally. Here in the States, you know, they
Mm-hmm.
think a different way. They're, you
Mm-hmm.
know, well traveled. You know, it's refreshing. It's very different. And I really just encourage anybody just to try it once. I mean, even if they're not traveling by themselves, just to kind of step outside that comfort zone. And I know a lot of stuff is going on in the world. You know, just take advantage of it and see, even if you go once, just see something to compare, you know?
Mm-hmm. Wonderful, wonderful.
Hmm.
So I know you said a lot of things and gave a lot of tips, but do you have any last words for our friends?
Um, Enjoy life.
Mm.
You know, and for me, enjoying life was traveling and experiencing things. So, you know, I hope that if you decide to travel, you know, take advantage of that. If you're by yourself and you've always wanted to travel, you know, take a leap of faith and do it. God's going to watch you. He's not going to let anything happen to you. So,
You're right about that. God is always with you, and you
yeah.
have to trust God in everything because He is interested in everything you do. So
Hmm. Hmm.
enjoy life, as Syreeta say. Well, Syreeta, thank you so much for being my special guest on Greatest Jesus in Me YouTube channel.
Anytime.
So, friends, remember to go to Greatest Jesus in Me YouTube channel, and you know what to do. Subscribe now. Be blessed, and until next time.